No cap, this thing slaps really hard, like a Cooper's Visa flying. Good afternoon, welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety of Walking Triple XL, and I'm actually struggling to put this review together because of how good this product is. There's so much that they've done right here. It's basically perfect. At the price point, this is the perfect product. It's better than anything else I could suggest to you. My default for a really long time has been the good old Dixon UD20, which I've used since the beginning of this channel, and I own the 3 of them, and they, for 1,000 Rand, they were incredibly good bang for buck in a box. But this just takes it to an entirely another level. The feature set and the build quality and everything that's going on with the Saramonic is just so good. It's actually sort of mind-blowing. There is one little thing I would change. It's not a major problem, and actually I'm busy fixing that problem to be able to show you the feature set and the stuff on the microphone as I'm going through it. So it's not really even a bad thing what they've done. It just is something that I would update and change a little bit. Before I get too ahead of myself, let's start off from the bottom. So the base is magnetically detachable, which is pretty sick. And then inside of that base, or where the prong is for the microphone, you will find a 5/8 inch screw so that you can put it onto boom arms. So you can go down to your local Cash Crusaders, buy a cheap 250 Rand boom arm, and you'll be able to slot it into there and then get that nominal distance to the microphone. So we're already pretty forward thinking, and I love that it's just a detachable rubberized base. There's absolutely nothing fancy about it. It's very simple in how it works. It looks elegant and clean. Really, really nicely done. It can't turn on the base is one thing, so you'd have to obviously turn the whole base to be able to get it to you, but it does tilt quite nicely on the prong, so it can go, well, really extremely in either direction. It can basically do a full 360. If I unplug this, then it can literally do a full 360. Moving around the back of the microphone, though, to look at the connections, you'll see a headphone jack with the Type-C connector next to it, and then 2 separate volume controls. And the one is to mute and unmute the microphone. So you see the VU meter turns red when I do that. And then the other one is to switch between the mic or USB mode. And what that does is it switches on or off the relay for the headphones. So you can relay your audio through this, your normal desktop audio, or you can listen back to the microphone, all built into the microphone itself. And now it has a 24-bit sound processor to do that. 48 kilohertz maximum on that frequency range, but on that frequency density, but it's more than enough to listen back to most headphones. Even my really high-end Sennheiser HD598s were really good on this, surprisingly good. Like, the audio processor quality on this is almost as good as my Samsung QH4, which I use to split the audio up when we're doing production so that I can send OBS audio and that sort of stuff to the observer. But it can do all of that from the mic. It can do all of that audio processing. So if you don't have a good sound card, this is a good sound card. It's got it built into the microphone. So you can put your audio through that and get some amplification on it. Because I've got 50 ohm headphones, those, like I mentioned, those HD598s, they're 50 ohm impedance, which is a little bit higher than 32, which is sort of the default for most gaming headsets. But you'd be able to listen back to that, I'd say even probably up until about 100 ohms, you'd be able to listen back through this device. It was very, very good with that. I've got to be honest with you. The audio processing built into this is staggeringly good. Now around the front, towards the bottom, like I said, you've got a built-in VU meter. So you can actually see if background noises are coming through your mic just by looking at your mic. You don't actually have to go into your stream, do a recording or a playback or something like that. It's giving you all that information on the front of the microphone. And similarly, like I said, if you press the button over here, you'll see it goes dark blue, which then has its own volume, which you can scroll up and down with, and then the light blue, which is for your playback from the PC. Then you'll be able to change your volume there again, and you'll be able to adjust the gain for the individually between the two modes for the playback from the microphone. So if you want to just monitor directly from the microphone, it's got a volume for that. And then the audio coming from the PC, it's got a separate volume for that. So this has a little computer inside of it. It's got like some sort of ARM processor. I'm not sure what it would have, but it's got a little PC inside of it that's controlling all of that individually. And then obviously the microphone has its own volume, which you can slide up and down with the VU meter within the VU meter over there. And then it just goes back to being a VU meter instantly after that. Like, very clever, very, very nicely set up. It's got everything you would need as a streamer to be able to set up your stream without having to even do a recording. You can monitor and get all that information back from the microphone itself. Absolutely staggering. So that's a really insane package at 1,500 Rand already. But then the microphone itself is absolutely fantastic. I'm quickly going to jump over to the PC to give you a demo of that. Alright, so I've got this set up into my obs in my rather echoey environment. I'm sure you're feeling the echo as I'm busy saying this. I'm checking the VU meter. My volume could go up a little bit. Let's just get this a little bit higher up. There we go. That's more like it. And now I'm loud. Okay. And this thing, like it says, it can handle 120 decibels. So clipping should be sort of minimal. I am going to get very loud. Warning headphone users. That should have not clipped. And in my testing, it has actually been pretty damn good with those sort of things. But now, if we take this and we put it through a couple of filters, namely NVIDIA Broadcast, as I switch over to this, you will notice a significant improvement with regards to reverberation and echo and just general voice quality and processing. NVIDIA Broadcast is an amazing piece of software. I use it for like absolutely everything, even my camera. It's very, very, very good. It's very, very powerful stuff. I've got noise removal and some room echo cancellation, and that's enough to take this mic from being really good to like podcast level radio amazing. Now I put it through this layer of processing, and then I can still do even more in post and do even more in Premiere and make it look and sound well, make the audio profile even better. The only reason I can do that is because of this thing's 24-bit audio processor, which even with the pass-through, as I may have mentioned, is absolutely staggeringly good. This is just now sitting in front of me on the desk over here. So I just have it on its normal stand. You can see that in the desk in front of me. If I just go to my cam only shot, then you'll be able to see it a little bit better, that it's literally just on the stand just like that as I'm speaking into it over here. And the performance is simply phenomenal. The front side VU meter is great. The fact I can see the volume and watch my VU meter and obs versus what's on the actual unit, you're going to get an idea of, sorry, you probably got a bit of feedback as I cleaned the top of the mic there, but you're going to get a feel for how much volume here it's going to impact your obs, and eventually you won't even need to look at it. Just the fact that it's got that on the front of it is, well, pretty sick. Anywho, back to the studio. So as you can see, even standing on the desk, even just having it sitting in front of you, it's pretty damn good. And you'll notice when I got closer with the microphone, then it became that much better. And they've set up for that with that screw in bottom so that you can just attach it straight onto a boom arm and get it to that sort of 10-15 centimeter nominal distance from yourself. The pickup pattern as well is pretty good. It is quite directional, not too much audio coming in from behind the microphone. So for once in my life, I'm actually speechless. Okay, not for once, it's like the fourth time I've been keeping count. But as far as products go that have left me speechless, it's very, very rare that I don't have like major criticisms or updates or something that could be improved. This is as perfect as a product as you can possibly get. It's not a 10 out of 10, it's an 11 out of 10. Literally the only thing I would change about this whole package is the Type-C to Type-C cable, because only like really current new age motherboards are going to have that. A lot of people use a second PC for streaming, and often it has like a more mid-range sort of motherboard that maybe won't have a Type-C on it by default. You'll have to use the Type-A to Type-C, which is exactly what I've got set up here, and how I tested it on the Type-C and on the Type-A to Type-C cable. Didn't really make a difference which cable I used, which is the good news. So you can just use a normal Type-A to Type-C, which our Diamond does, and thanks to the phone market using Type-C for just about everything. can literally use almost any cable, I would assume. The cable that I've got connected it with here, you can see it's braided. It's actually for a keyboard. So it's not even like in the same, it's a peripheral, sure, that's not in the same sort of vein. So if you have a Type-C data cable that you would use for your phone or something like that, it would be absolutely perfect for this. There's not a lot of bandwidth that the audio is actually pushing through. You're looking at like a couple hundred kilobytes a second. Even if it was 1 megabit a second, it would probably be like maybe a thousandth of the potential of the cable. So the cable quality, I don't think it's going to matter all that much, which is also good news. Everything that Saramonic has done here is made to be extremely flexible and really user-friendly. Everything you need is right here. Monitoring, volume control for the audio and for the microphone's output itself. Like, oh, it's mind-blowingly good. 1,500 Rand for this. If you're asking me what microphone you should get for your stream, for your production environment, for your conferencing center, etc., etc., this is it. You can literally have it on a boom arm. You could pass it around on the stand like this and each person could speak. You could probably put it in the middle of the table and each person could speak into it. With the right settings, you'd be able to hear everybody quite audibly. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing product. I'm really keen on the Saramonic brand now. I do have some more stuff that I'm going to be testing, so stick around for that. If you have enjoyed this review, however, do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.